Hey, what's up you guys? This is Junior Trader, and in this video we are taking a look at Palantir stock. So let's do the price action analysis and let's identify going in this week. Can we continue higher? Can we just buy the pullbacks on this thing, or shall we stay away from it now? So, well, before going further, I want to let you also know that none of this is any financial advice and it's only for education purposes. So since the time, guys, we started to hold this support over here, right, at $21 around. We started to form these pivots. I have been saying that this is just bullish and it can continue higher. Even on these pullbacks, I just mentioned that these are just the pullbacks and we can continue higher. So now we are seeing some sell-off is coming at $23.95. Is this the time to stay away from Palantir? Well, not really has been that, right? Because, well, those pullbacks came, but you can see that next significant level, $22.91, is still holding. We have the wick down there. But is this another green candle a strong pivot that we can continue higher? So let's take a look from the lens of technicals here first. What are we seeing across these pivots? Okay, let's start off here. We have one pivot over here, the next pivot over here, higher low. The next pivot is over here, another higher low. This pivot is still higher than the previous one. It's still a higher low. Technically, we are still in the bullish trend, all right? And so, yeah, we are still bullish. That was just a cool off. Also, I would say that even if we would have lost $22.92, and even if we lose right now, and I'll talk about that in just a second, I would still see this 20 days moving average and 50 going to keep it at least bullish for the near term, as if some pullbacks over here will be bought back up for a couple of days at least, in my opinion. Just keep that in mind as well. But let's jump to the hourly interval. Let's talk about much more the technicals in detail there, and I'm gonna adjust something on my indicator as well in the meanwhile. All right, here we go. So you can see that we got bought back up at our significant level, one of the levels, right? Thus still keeping the sort of higher pivot. And I'm gonna get rid of this trend line. We don't need that now. Oh, well, so, okay, this is how you even trade intraday. You have this trend line ongoing, right? And when you see this thing failing at that trend line, that's your intraday short play as well, okay? So just, I thought that's a great example right now. I can show you that as well. All right, so right now where Palantir is in the post-market, it's selling off, right? And pretty much this is what the area you are watching. If for intraday trade, if we can stay above and around $23.31, this is just a pullback zone in an already going intraday uptrend. So intraday, this is where it has to form a pivot, $23.30. Above this, intraday is still a long play, all right? If it loses that, then you are waiting and watching. Either it's going to keep falling, come back down again to $22.92, but then I also expect this eventually to do some more push-ups up here, back again to the upside. And then if, let's say, it dips below that, but comes back up, then again you are still watching that, guys, $23.31. Anything above this for intraday from where the price is just a bullish play. Palantir is just a bullish play in my opinion. And again, like if we lose $23.31, it's not that you just go and buy. You still have to wait it to get it above. You can try intraday short like $23.31 and below, but there is no guarantee that it's going to go all the way down to $22.92 because trend on the structure is still bullish. So we short, if you are trading below $23.31, can be traded short, but be careful. Whenever you see consolidations happening, double bottom forming, you got to get out because it's not swing short. So you are trading against the trend. So it's better when we are in an uptrend, wait for the pullbacks. The better shot would be this one, right? Because this was accompanied by a break of trend line. Right now over here, we don't have a strong trend line. You can form a pivot here usually, right? But we have to see that pivot. But just because the difference from here, let's say 23,000, the reason I'm not in favor of short here is for also the reason that, let's bring our measurement tool. From here down to this 200 hours moving average, our delta or the gap was like almost just shy of 6%. That's quite huge. But from where we are now, let's say this pivot, if it has to lose, we are just what, negative 2.7%. So that's quite low. So this is not a extension that is profitable to trade against a trend short. You can still do it as I gave you the level, but be just careful a little bit. Okay, so that's that. So guys, yeah, in my opinion, Palantir, though, well, this is the area. If this pivot holds $23.31 intraday, this can be still traded long. Okay, now there's another argument that could be made if I take you to the 4 hours interval here. That junior trader, hey, isn't this a head and shoulder? Of course, this could very well be a head and shoulder, but the thing is that that's where it all comes down to. If this level holds $23.31, if it doesn't hold, this will continue to fall lower. But your confirmation of this head and shoulder is not until we break $22.92. That's where the neckline is of almost this head and shoulder. So yeah, so you get my point, right? It's not swing bearish. So intraday, you can't say it's bearish already, because technically what I showed you on the daily interval, we still have higher pivots here, right? So structure is still holding. All right. So that's why I'm saying that $23.30 area is still, if it holds, it's an intraday long over there. Otherwise, stay on the sideline and then wait and watch if we finally lose $22.92. Otherwise, no, that will still become a area of a pullback, or if we get above that, or even if we find support at $22.91, at least intraday long plays may come from there, and they then partially size out. And if that turns into swing, that's great, because technically structure is still there. Otherwise, size in, size out, have a stop loss regardless, right? But that's my take on Palantir. So the things usually, when things are in a clear uptrend with the strong pivots forming, it's just a trend trade, right? That's what we have been doing. Now when things starts to a little bit go in the sell-off, a little bit go in the choppiness, that's where you have to be very nimble and up on your feet always to precisely trade at those levels, by keeping in mind that also if those level breaks, right, there you have to have a stop loss, and at certain levels that could also change the structure. And that's where it's very important to get careful here. At these times, you trade with the small position sizes, and then accordingly carry in the direction as position works out in your favor, take some partial profits out, and then below or other side of the structure chain, you have your stop loss. All right, well, that's it for this video. And in my opinion, though, guys, I think Palantir may go through some choppiness here, but in my opinion, it will still remain bullish. This head and shoulder pattern that potentially we talked about, if it comes away from these 20 and 50 days moving average, let's say if it would have come up here, then I would be like, oh yeah, well, this may cool off. But it's so close to it that this pattern may just not work out, the head and shoulder, in my opinion. All right. So that's why I'm saying it just seems like to me it's just going to stay more bullish. Just my opinion, though. Overall, like pullbacks might be just brought back up on this for a couple of more days. All right. Anyways, that's it for this video. If you found it helpful, valuable, hit the like, subscribe. I'll see you in my next videos, guys. Take care. Bye.